university. He had first-hand experience with this when an online magazine he started in college was picked up by Microsoft and syndicated to over 60 million readers. I'm looking forward to learning from you, Mike. Come on up.
So I didn't have personal experience with injury because of the magazine. I'm here talking to you guys today about overcoming adversity, but I'm also talking to you guys about taking a negative experience and turning it into something positive for other people. I'm a pretty average guy in most respects. I like hanging out with my friends, going out to eat, doing regular things, but on January 12th, 2019, I was hit by a drunk driver who fled the scene of the accident. Now, the good news is we did get the guy. The bad news is I spent the next 3 months in hard recovery. Unfortunately for me, I actually live out on an acreage by myself. This is actually a photo from my driveway. Yeah. Because of the condition that I was in, I was not able to take care of my driveway. And because I live alone, I actually ran out of food provisions twice. People just couldn't get to me. It was a pretty difficult time for me. Naturally, when you go through something like that, you end up with a legal case. So like most people, I went to go find a lawyer to represent my case. But honestly, there are not enough negative adjectives to describe the process that I found myself in. You can't shop around because in order to shop around, they need to look at your case to tell you specifics for you. In order to tell you specifics, you need to sign a contract, which means there's no point in shopping around. They advertise 30% no win, no fee. It's closer to 40. And then they have competing interests. So they want a fast settlement while you want a maximal risk settlement. But the worst thing of all is there's no customer service. There is no customer service whatsoever. In fact, the number one thing searched for by people who are represented by a lawyer, I don't know what's going on with my case. I can't get a hold of my lawyer. What do I do? Frustrated, and in that situation, I actually went down to the law library and I taught myself how to litigate my own case. Turns out it's actually not that complicated. If you understand the rules and you apply some decision trees, there's some very simple logic that you can use to get to the end solution. In general, there's 5 heads of damage: pain and suffering, loss of income, loss of housekeeping, loss of capacity, and out-of-pocket expenses. But pain and suffering is a tricky one. The rest are all arithmetic. How do you come up with what pain and suffering is worth? Well, the way that lawyers do it is they actually turn to something called case law. So lawyers will look up 2 or 3 cases where somebody has injuries similar-ish to your own. They'll use those 2 or 3 cases to guesstimate how much to ask for you. I thought that was stupid because they're going to cherry pick high, the defense will cherry pick low, and then they'll just fight for years. It made no sense. So I decided I'm going to build a solution that can read thousands of case law files and apply a statistical model to tell me exactly what the range of what my injuries are worth. So that's what I did. So once I had all of the data, I packaged it up and I created my own settlement proposal. Like I said, it's not that difficult to do. Once I had my settlement proposal, I still wasn't feeling super confident about whether or not I could represent my own case. So I actually went back to some of the lawyers who I talked to initially. I said, here it is, it's already done, the settlement proposal's ready. I'm thinking 10% and you guys can be the face of my case. What do you think? And they kind of looked at it and they were like, this is amazing. Here's what we're thinking. 40%, take it or leave it. And by the way, can we use your tools? Yeah, so I was frustrated and I was like, these guys are morons, I'm out of here. The interesting thing is you actually don't have to do that well negotiating your own case to come out financially ahead. You just have to beat 60% of whatever they're going to ask for. 61% puts you financially ahead. So I started talking about what I was doing, and soon after, Access to Justice groups actually started reaching out to me. And they told me something pretty surprising. Apparently, every 4 years, 13 million Canadians are locked out of access to justice. That number is staggeringly high. It's for reasons of bad case economics, being rural and remote, or just not being able to afford a lawyer. So I actually phoned up my now two co-founders, and I asked them, how much extra work would it take to take the tools that I had built and turn it into a full suite solution? It turns out it's not that much extra work. So that's what we've been doing. So for the last 4 months, we've been working on this project, and responses have been, there are no words. In 4 months, we've already signed up more than $3 million in total case claim value. We've signed up a major insurance company, and we've already won an award before launching the product. So I've learned a couple things. Thank you. So one, there's tons of reasons not to get up in the morning. Get up anyway. There's tons of reasons not to do anything. Do something anyway. There are tons of reasons to just give up. Push forward anyway. Get up, do something, push forward, and build. Build in the service of others. Because when you build in the service of others, people will naturally want to help you. All you have to do is share your story and let them. I still go for treatment 3 times a week. I'm still recovering from my injuries. But I take my extra capacity and I channel it into this project. We've come a long way. We're not done, and there's a tremendous journey in front of us still. But I'm very excited to see what's next for us. Thank you for letting us share our story.